Hi everyone, my name is Joe Adamski, and today I'll be walking us through a professional development session focused on positive communication strategies that we can use with our students. The goal isn't just to talk about communication in theory, but to explore real, practical approaches that help us build stronger relationships, maintain engagement, and respond thoughtfully in a wide range of scenarios. To get us started, I'd like you to think about a time when communication you had with someone just didn't go as planned. Maybe it escalated unexpectedly, or maybe it just left both sides feeling frustrated. As you think about that moment, consider this. Was there anything you could have changed about how you communicated that might have changed the outcome? It's completely normal for conflicts like this to happen, especially in classrooms where emotions can run high. But moments like these remind us how powerful communication can be, and how our tone, our delivery, and even our timing can directly influence our relationships with students. By the end of this PD session, you'll be able to do a few key things. First, explain why mutually respectful relationships with students matter so much. Second, identify strategies for communicating effectively across different classroom scenarios. Third, recognize ways communication influences engagement and how to use it to boost that engagement. And finally, we'll talk about analyzing nonverbal cues and adjusting our approach based on what we see. Before diving deeper, I want to highlight a couple of quotes that really ground this presentation. Rita Pearson reminds us that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. And Kyle Schwartz expands on that idea by emphasizing that we are not teaching subjects in isolation, we're teaching students. When we frame our work this way, communication stops being just a classroom skill. It becomes a connection building tool. At the heart of teaching is relationship building. Everything else, instruction, assessment, engagement, all of that grows out of that foundation. A student who feels connected is a student who can learn. We see this echoed in research from Schwartz and in the concept of teacher credibility described by Fisher and Frey. Students need to believe not only that you know what you're doing, but that you genuinely care. I also like how Gavoni compared relationships to banks with the relationship bank metaphor. Every interaction with a student is either a deposit or a withdrawal. And just like a real bank account, if you're making too many withdrawals, even unintentionally, you'll end up overdrawn. A good rule of thumb is 4 positive interactions for every corrective one. And above all, we should protect student dignity. How we correct students matters just as much as what we correct. But what does a win-win confrontation interaction with a student look like? In the following video, Rita Pearson expertly navigates a difficult conversation with a student who was caught cheating and provides them with an opportunity to redeem themselves in a positive, firm, respectful way. Let's check it out.
We're going to try it this time with me trying a different approach, one where we end up with a win-win situation rather than being on opposing sides. Mr. Brown, you have a cell phone in my class, and this is not the first time I've asked you not to have a cell phone. And I believe you're texting answers. You're cheating. And I can't tell you how disappointed I am. What do you have to say?
I'm sorry.
Is that going to get it?
It won't happen again.
Listen, this is an honors English course. You know that. I believe you have applications into some very good schools, and you're cheating, and cheating cannot be tolerated. Now, here are your options, Mr. Brown. You can either take the F on this exam, because that's exactly what you're going to receive, or you can choose to take the exam over, and this one will be much more difficult than the one you're taking now. So, what's your choice here? Hurry up, I don't have all day. I'm so disappointed. I can't tell you how hurt I am.
This test is hard.
I realize that. I realize it's some very difficult information, which is why I had study sessions scheduled for the last 2 weeks. Mr. Brown, you came to 1. Now, first of all, tell me, are you or are you not prepared to take responsibility for your own actions?
I am.
Which means that you're going to have to take charge of your own success. You need to show up for the study sessions, and you need to be prepared, and you wouldn't have to cheat on my test. So what's your decision? An F on this exam is an automatic, but I'll give you another exam. But this one is going to be twice as difficult, and you're going to take a grade cut. What's your choice?
I would like to retake the test, please.
You may. The respect between us, Mr. Brown, has to improve. I see your potential as a student. I see you have potential to go on to do whatever you want to do, but I will not keep having these confrontations with you about your cheating. We've got to get a handle on this. If you need me, I'm here for morning and afternoon sessions, and whatever you need to do, I'm here for you. But I will not allow you to be a cheater, and I will not allow integrity to be broached on my exam. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Is that fair? I
Yes.
think so. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Fisher and Frey also outlined the 4 pillars of credibility, which helps us understand what makes students trust us. And that begins with, well, trust. You should keep your promises, be honest, and be aware of your own emotional tone. Have competence. Know your content, but also admit when you don't know something. Students always appreciate honesty. Don't forget to structure your lessons and pay attention to your nonverbal communication as well. Have dynamism. This is your passion. If you're excited, your students will feel that energy too. And finally, immediacy. Show your students that you're present and available. Knowing small details about them or showing up at school events actually does go a long way. When these 4 areas are strong, communication becomes smoother and more meaningful. There is no perfect script for every scenario. Classrooms, as we all know, can be very unpredictable. But there are some guiding principles that help in almost any situation. Good communication is as much about listening as it is about speaking. Ask questions, avoid assumptions, and try to understand before trying to fix the problem. Also, when conflicts do arise, avoid direct confrontation. We're not trying to win against our students. We're trying to create a win-win situation where everyone feels heard and respected. Another helpful idea is managing what Rita Pierson calls the mama law. Help students understand that different environments have different expectations, and that navigating these differences is actually a life skill. However, engagement and communication go hand in hand. If students are disengaged, learning stops, and sometimes communication breaks down as a result. Some strategies that you can use include dynamism. Show excitement and passion about the learning, because like we said earlier, that passion is contagious. Relevance. Connect what you're teaching to students' lives, interests, or experiences. If students understand the why, they tend to invest more. And urgency. Teach like the learning matters right here, right now. Students notice when we value their time. These small shifts can dramatically improve how students respond to us. Sometimes our most important communication isn't verbal at all. Our nonverbal communication says way more than we could ever articulate with words. And sometimes that communication communicates something that we've never intended. When analyzing our nonverbal cues, we should use awareness. And that means recognizing that your body language, tone, expression, and even posture are always sending messages. Using neutrality. Neutrality is key during behavior redirection specifically. Keeping a calm voice and steady demeanor prevents escalation. And also, we must remember compassion. Compassion reminds us that we rarely know the full story behind a student's behavior. Approaching situations with empathy can completely change the outcome. Our nonverbal communication often determines whether students feel safe, heard, and respected. So let's revisit the reflection you thought about at the beginning of the presentation. Take a moment and identify 1 or 2 strategies from today that might have changed that interaction. What do you wish you had known then? Was there a chance to turn the moment into a win-win? What would you do differently now? If you're completing this in a group, feel free to pause here and discuss. If you're watching alone, feel free to jot down a few notes for later reflection. Thank you for taking the time to go through this presentation with me. Communication is something we're always improving, and even small changes can make a big difference in the way our students experience school. I hope the strategies and ideas shared today support your work and help strengthen the relationships in your own classroom. And this slide is all of the materials and articles and videos that I used to build this presentation today.